Do you enjoy our podcast and the guests we bring you? Since 2019, Matt and his team have done their very best to give you amazing shows each week. If you feel like our show has helped you to be a better investigator, or maybe even inspired you to become an investigator, please let us know. We're looking for testimonials. Drop Matt an email with a recorded 20 to 30 seconds of you talking about this podcast. You can also email him something verbal about the website. His email is matthew.s@satellitepi.com. And if you really feel blessed for having this content, consider supporting Matt and our show by joining Investigators Toolbox. You really have to see version 2.0. And at just 49 cents a day, it's a no-brainer. Now let's jump in to this week's episode. Welcome to this week's episode of PI Perspectives. Matt is flying solo again today. The discussion is investigatorstoolbox.com. Matt has gotten several requests to showcase the site and talk about what's in it. Version 2.0 is here, and we're going to dive in and take a look. While this podcast will be insightful, I encourage you to jump on our YouTube channel. The link's in the description, and watch so you can see the update for yourself. Now, please welcome your host, New York private investigator, Matt Spare.
And welcome everyone to this week's episode of PI Perspectives. This is Matt Spare, your host. This week we are going solo. No guests today. We're going to be talking about Investigators Toolbox version 2.0. I'm going to make it a little more dynamic for those that are watching on YouTube. To share my screen here so y'all can get a peek of what's going on. I've been getting a lot of email requests for folks that want to know more about the toolbox and what's in it, and you don't really have access unless you join for obvious reasons. So I figured I'd spend a little bit of time here and just going over some of the things. And again, if you're watching the YouTube channel, you'll be able to get an up close peek at it. So we're going to jump in and take a look at it. So for those that don't know, I'll just cover the toolbox real quickly. So about 2.5 years ago, almost 3 years ago, well, actually it's about 2.5 years since it's been out, but probably about 3.5 years ago, came up with this idea to create this online community for investigators. Think of it like LinkedIn or Facebook, but geared more towards the investigative community. So it's not just for licensed investigators, it's certified fraud examiners, executive protection, anybody with investigative experience, law enforcement, are all eligible to join. And I thought it would be very cool if we could create a place, somewhere to go for investigative professionals, for networking, for education purposes, continuing education, and for resource management. And I thought it'd be cool if we could cater the resource management to a private library. So basically you pick and choose what's in your library and how to do your research. So plenty of folks that listen to the show have actually joined. The membership has grown very, very quickly. We almost doubled membership last year. So we're getting close to pushing 600 members. So that's more than most regular associations. So I like to think of this almost as like a digital association without borders. And, got to the point where I felt it was time to upgrade the site a little bit. Took some of the feedback that I was getting from people, some of the issues that we were having. This was put together and born in the time of COVID. And the good news was my regular business, Satellite Investigations, was not incredibly busy, so I could focus on building this site. So we did a lot of things that we were going to do in version 2.0 and version 2.1. So the challenge for me on 2.0 was how was I going to make this better? And it all came down to user interface. So we wanted to clean things up a little bit and make it a little bit easier to find things. One of the issues that we were having was it just too much information, too many sites too quickly. So it's a good problem to have. And, we came up with a really cool solution to take a look at that. So for those of you again watching the video here, you'll see the screen here, the home screen. It's got little video playing underneath it, which is my designer came up with this idea. I think it's fantastic. It looks really, really great, and just like a fresh feel to it. So I'm going to go through and show you guys a couple of the things that we changed here. One of the things that was most important actually is the login process. So we use something called Magic Link, and it works off of email. But I wanted to give the opportunity for members to join or log in using their cell phone. So within the next couple of weeks, you're going to see that go live. We're testing it right now. It's all built. It's done. Just trying to make sure it's done right. So if it crashes or so it doesn't crash, you don't have a problem. So that's the most important thing that's coming down the line and about to go live. A lot of the changes, a lot of version 2.0 is actually out already. It's gone live. So let's jump in. So the first thing I'm going to take a look at is the learning section here. So I'm bringing it up here. So basically what we did was we wanted to make it easier to find content on there. Like I said, we have so many points of content, and it just got so big so quickly. If we could break them down into different categories and make that easier for folks to find, it kind of made sense. So the different categories are business management and ethics, education credits. There are certain videos that are on here that actually have continuing education attached to it. I know that's important for a lot of the investigators that actually require that for their state. I know I'm out of New York, and that's not a big issue for me, but for folks in other states, that's important. So there are videos that are on there that you can get your credits for. Some that are geared towards field skills, which is, out in the field, surveillance, things like that. Again, business management, how to run your business, how to get started. We'll break it down into different things here. So it's also broken down into subcategories: the video content, blogs, and articles and forums. So for each one of these main categories, we've got subcategories for them. So the main categories are the business management, ethics, the education credits, field skills, instructional, open source investigative tools. Those are the main categories there. So you can go through and consume any of the content there, whether it be video, blogs for you to read, or articles and forums, and anything that's on the site, you can bookmark it. So if you're looking at the screen here, if you click on the star, you'll notice if you go to your profile page, your library gets populated with everything that you've bookmarked. So here's a bunch of videos that I've bookmarked. We've got different links that take you directly to these particular sites. So I've picked and chose the sites that I like to use for my research. I do a lot of motor vehicle accident. So the New York State vehicle insurance research, there's a site specifically for that. That's a tool that I use a lot. Division of Corporation, state records, things like that for New York State. So I've got them listed here. So excuse me, that was, we just wanted to clean up the feel of that, how that looks for folks to find things instead of going through, big, huge lists on, on how to find that content. So one of the other things that we did was we cleaned up the community aspect a little bit. So the three major sites, if you notice, you'll see the Facebook page is gone. So we used to have a listing of all the different Facebook pages that are available for investigators, and which I thought was cool, but I had to give something up over here. So I figured giving up the Facebook page to add the Ask a PI advisory panel was something that was really important to me. So the Ask a PI advisory panel, essentially what that is I've got probably about 8 or 9, maybe 10 people in the industry that have been doing this for a very long time. You've heard them as guests. I don't have to roll the names off here, but they've made themselves available to answer your questions, right? So if you're starting a business or you're struggling in your business and you're a member of this community, you can actually go into the panel, ask a specific question, and that gets submitted to us, and then we take a look and we point it in the right direction. So put your name and your email in, you ask your question, and then within a couple of days, you'll get an answer back from one of the panelists there. So I've identified that a lot of people that join the site, they're just new into business, less than 5 years, and they have a lot of questions often. So this gives you the opportunity to have access to folks that have been doing this for a long time, that know how to get around and answer the questions. So that's something that is live right now. I'm getting over a cold here, folks, so if my voice is cutting in and out, I apologize about that. So Investigators Insight is another thing that we've just launched. We did a soft launch of it last year. I had, I think, about 5 or 6 different sessions where we'd get together and do like a Zoom meeting, and it's not recorded. It's a live session where you can pre-register. You'll find out who the guest is leading into the meeting, and you can ask that particular person a question about what they do. And they'll answer your question live, or we have the ability to do live Q&A as well. So, like I said, we did about 6 of those, and it was really cool. So, folks like Kelly Riddle that have been around forever and really great at answering questions on how to do things. Guys like Kelly make themselves available and answer questions. I know we had Jim Nanos on also doing a surveillance equipment question. That's something that we get a lot all the time. What cameras to use? If I'm just starting up and I got a small budget, what would you recommend? Like that kind of stuff. So that was very, very positive, and they were a lot of fun. And I purposely didn't want to record them because I wanted people to either be there or be square, you got to show up to participate and all that. So, so those are a couple of the new things that we have brought to light. I'm going to show you guys a couple other things. We're going to jump out and take a quick break just to give the sponsors a word here. And then when we come back in, we'll cover a couple of the new things that we have here. It's not going to be a terribly long episode. But some of you are probably are like, wrap it up, man. Let's get it done with. Let's move on to the next episode. So, like I said, we take a quick break here, and we'll cover a couple of the new things, and then I'll tell you, what my plans are for the rest of the year with this. And we got a lot of really cool things, some exciting things happening, and I definitely want to give you all the opportunity to check it out. So everybody sit tight, and we'll be right back.
Check out the PI Institute of Education at piinstitute.com. Since 1989, Kelly Riddle has been teaching on subjects such as surveillance, nursing home investigations, insurance fraud, domestic investigations, hidden assets, and accident scene investigations. The PI Institute of Education is a featured learning partner in the investigatorstoolbox.com. So check out the free content on the site, then visit the Institute for more great savings on additional classes.
I want to talk to everybody today about ScopeNow.com. ScopeNow has been a big-time sponsor of this program for quite some time, and I just love their service. I've been using them since the beginning. I'm one of their beta customers, and it's been so awesome to see them grow into the business that they are today, and just how they just keep reinventing themselves and pushing themselves to get more and more information. What it comes down to is ScopeNow is a tool that you definitely need to use if you do social media investigations, any internet research, and really spending less time digging around and looking for information. I think is one of the best points of how ScopeNow can help you. Their AI platform, their analytics are amazing. You really get an idea of what you need. You're reducing the time, you're reducing the manpower that you're spending on doing this research, because they're essentially doing it for you, and they're doing it correctly, which is most important. One of the new things that they're actually offering is this flagging system where you can flag behaviors and really highlight and look out for fraud. If you're doing a lot of fraud research, this is a fantastic tool, and you can set up alerts. So you have particular people that you're looking at, you can actually set up alerts to get notifications when the criteria that you set up is actually is flagged and goes off. It's really, really amazing. And their relationship and association analytics are top notch, really cutting edge and really, really cool. When they brought that out on version 3, it was a game changer. I mean, really being able to see how people interact together and having that relationship analysis is really, really something that's cool. One of the other things about being involved with Scope Now is their ability to offer webinars. Their team is cutting edge on putting together and getting out really, really great content. If you're a member of Scope Now, if you know who they are, you've seen them around on LinkedIn, you'll know that they're constantly doing webinars on these new websites that are coming out, and they're really staying on top of it. And don't forget, any reports that you generate, you can actually white label those reports and put your own logos on and really make them look professional, which could equate to more billing for you as well. So check them out today. It's www.scopenow.com. They're a great, great company. They should be one of the tools in your toolbox, along with whatever kind of search engines you do. You need to make sure that Scope Now is a part of that suite. Scopenow.com.
Looking for an insurance agent that puts you first? Every PI business is different. That's why OREP Insurance can shop multiple markets to ensure you get the best coverage to meet your unique business needs. OREP's model is business by the golden rule, and for over 20 years, they've built their business by putting their clients first. So come enjoy a fast online application and same-day certificates of insurance at OREP.org. OREP has coverage for armed investigators, executive protection, and even has a separate policy for security firms. The application takes less than 5 minutes, so visit OREP.org today. OREP.org.
You guys have been hearing for a long time about how much I love Crosstracks, but now you're going to hear from somebody else. So we got George Gerges here. George is a member and a user of Crosstracks. George, tell me real quickly what you love about Crosstracks.
The simplicity of using it and the ability to customize everything that you could do with Crosstracks is awesome. It actually allowed me to take the way that I do my business and implement it into their system. And not only am I able to manage 10 or 15 cases, I'm able to manage 50 to 100 cases with the same effort.
Fantastic. So Crosstracks, the case management system, they are SOC 2 certified. Basically, that's an encryption, really an upgrade. They're the only ones out there that are doing it. So please support this great sponsor that supports our show. Check them out. The links are in the show notes. Crosstracks, if you're an investigator, you should be using them today.
And welcome back to PI Perspectives. This is Matt Spare, your host. We are flying solo today, and we're talking about Investigators Toolbox version 2.0. And I want to thank everybody for tuning in and checking this out and just learning a little more about this passion project of mine. Like I said earlier, it's something I started about almost 3 years ago, and pushing 600 members, which is pretty awesome. And folks are coming back. They're renewing their memberships, which is great. Sponsors are renewing their memberships. So I'm going to jump back in, and we're going to talk about a couple of the other new things that version 2.0 has. And then we'll talk a little bit about the future of the toolbox and where it's going and what I hope it ends up turning into. So we had talked about cleaning up the user interface, and I showed you the learning section and the investigator's insight and ask a PI. Now we're going to take a look at the data resources. Again, this was something that was really important for me to clean up because we got so much of these open source investigative tools on here, and the ability to find them was becoming difficult. So we wanted to come up with a better way. And again, if you're looking at the video, you'll see on the left-hand side that we've got now broken down all the different categories They're easier to find. They tell you how much of each particular resource, how many tools there actually are. So, like you see business and international OSINT tools, there are like 58 of them. Newspaper resources, 13. Social media and username tools, there's 60 in there. So when you click on, let's click on the social media and username. When you click on it, it actually brings you to the page there, and you're able to go through and scroll. And what's neat is that it's only going to show you those 60. So once you're done with it, it's not going to go any further, and it'll stop there, which is great. So again, you can bookmark anything that's on there and create your own library, right? So that's really important, because we all do different types of things. We have different type of research methods. One of the other things I want to say, and this has been in since day one, if there is a tool that you use or a resource that you use that you think is cool, you can submit it, and we'll vet it and we'll put it on the site. So one of the benefits of that is, hey, you're making the community better, making folks around you better. You're getting a little bit of street cred, because you get shout outs for that, and you get badges and all that cool stuff. But then you can also add it to your own library. So one of the benefits of having the research library, as opposed to just having it on your desktop computer, the Investigator's Toolbox is actually an app as well. So you can use it on Apple or Google, or you can use it on an iPad. You can use it on a MacBook or a laptop or whatever. There, any way you can get to computer access, you can access the site, and it works and functions and looks exactly the same. So it goes back and forth. So let's say you were out in the field and you needed to do quick research, and your desktop was back in the office, and you didn't have the ability to do that research. So having the toolbox and having the ability to have that library there makes things very easy for you. You can essentially do research on the fly, which is really neat, because when you're out there, you need answers, right? Sometimes you don't have, the analyst to go and look something up for you, or do something like that. So, cleaning this up and making it user friendly for the phone version was something that was really, really important. So one of the other things too that we wanted to do is we wanted to expand into other countries, which I think is really, really neat. So as you guys know, Conflict International is a big sponsor of Investigators Toolbox, and we've had Mike LaCourt on, I've had Mike Tapling. They run a great operation over in Europe, and we had come up with the idea of adding different data sets from different countries, and what does that look like? So we were able to build it, and we're in the process. In the first quarter, you're going to see, hopefully by the end of the first quarter, there'll be about 18 different countries in there. So if you look to your left here, right now I've got Canada, Ireland, Mexico, United Kingdom, and United States in there. So let's click on United Kingdom. So if we click on that, you'll see that we've got different data sets that are plugged in. A lot of them are business search type data sets, but they got the same thing: social media and username, government, business international, intellectual property and trademark. So different things. So if you come across the assignment to do work overseas, it can be very overwhelming, but sometimes you have access to the information, you don't even realize it, and it's easy to do yourself. But there is a way out if you can't figure it out. So if you look over to your left, it says need international help with a question mark, and then it says click here. And if you do click on that icon on the left hand side, it's going to bring you to Conflict International, our partner page with them. So they're available to do the work for you. So if you are struggling, you can't figure it out, or you need boots on the ground in Germany to go get something, or UK or Ireland, like they'll do it for you. And even if you refer business over to them, they'll give you a 10% referral fee ongoing, which is amazing. So you get to look like $1 million. These guys hit it out of the park for you, and then you get a 10% commission on top of it. So I've used Conflict before many times overseas, and it's been fantastic. I mean, really, you want to talk about just professionals, well respected all through Europe, and they understand the legalities, right? So we, are here in the United States, and we don't have the same restrictions that they have. So you want to make sure that as you're getting the information, as you're developing things, you're not breaking any laws or violating any rules that's going to get your evidence or your information thrown out. So sometimes it's better just to hand it off to the professionals. And we have that agreement here, which is neat, and I'm very excited by it. Conflict's one of the many sponsors here. So that's the other thing for folks who don't know too much about the toolbox. We have partnered up with probably about 20 different businesses that service our industry. They are basically providing discounts and benefits to membership. So Crosstracks is a case management system. They offer 3 months, and their plans range from $70 to $615. So actually, their plans start at $35 a month. I'm sorry, but you can save, and you can actually get money from them if you refer other investigators over to them. So it's a great program. I've been using it 2.5, 3 years now, and I am on the higher side of my monthly plan with them, but gladly, because my business has expanded to the point that I needed to upgrade my system. I would not have the level of business that I have right now if I didn't have a case management system, because Excel sheets just don't cut it when you start really servicing the industry. So we've got that PI Institute of Education, again, Kelly Riddle. Kelly's fantastic. There are 6 videos on here that are, they have continuing education credits attached to them. Plus, Kelly will give you 20% discount on any training he's got on his site. So if you're one of those states that requires continuing education, the PI Institute of Education is a must for you. It's an easy way to get those requirements out of the way. It's not expensive. I think his classes start at like $35 each. And it's a no-brainer, right? Get your continuing education credits without having to go to a conference or go out there and get everything done. And Kelly knows what he's doing. He's 40 plus years in the business. It's definitely a great partnership. And if you haven't checked out his videos, like I said, your membership on the Toolbox gives you 6 of these that all have continuing education credits. So that alone pays for the subscription for the year. Confluent, we talked about. Scope Now, another great partner. They offer 10% discount on their products. The SK10 package, basically, I think it's about $15 a month or $16 a month, something like that they offer a discount on. So you're able to save money on a service you're going to use anyways, right? Those of you who do a lot of computer research, OSINT, Scope Now is one of those tools that you want to have handy to do your research. So they're a great partner. NCISS is another one, right? I'm on the board with them. IRB is another one that's been very helpful. Morse Genealogical, PI Magazine, ORIP Insurance, Ogoso Training, Profitable PI, Mad PI, or Canadian Investigators. They've been a great partner. They're up in Canada. If you ever need to have work done up there, we've had them on as guests. Skip Tracer, Sly Fox, Investigator Marketing, Cynthia Hetherington. I mean, if you don't know who Cynthia Hetherington is, you don't really do research because she's gives a lot of trainings on how to do research, and Cynthia's been around for a while. And what I love about Cynthia is that some of her staff now are starting to do the trainings, which is great. So you're getting a different perspective, excuse me, from people that work with her on how they do their research. I'm like week 2 of this cold, guys, so I'm sorry. It's killing me. PI Gear, ID Reveal. So we had Mike Morelli on a couple of weeks ago talking about juror research. I love working with Mike. These profiles that he's putting out are amazing, and they're not expensive to run. I was actually at an attorney event last night talking about Mike and his services, and probably selling more of his service here in New York, which is amazing. So Mike and I have an agreement, and he does the same thing. He offers a 10% discount on referrals, and they do a really, really excellent job with their research. It's can't say enough great things about ID Reveal. You definitely want to check them out. And even bug sweeps and TCM services through Advanced Investigations up in Connecticut. Paul Ciccarella, Eddie Ajeb, Eddie, he's been on the show a few times. His research, Eddie's one of my head research guys. When my internal team struggles with trying to get answers on something, I'll just punt it over to him, and man, Eddie works miracles. Really, really good. Amber Schroeder, Parabin Corporation, Johnny Hoda, The Ultimate Guide to Taking Statements, with bonus material. So we updated it to talk about taking statements via video and things of that nature. John is another treasure in this industry. He writes a lot of books too. If you're into like mystery books, he's got a whole series. That's John's next career, is being a very successful writer. So you can check out any of his books too. Good stuff. So the sponsors and partners are they've been key. You guys like listening to this program. These sponsors, they run their commercials and they help pay for the production of this. So I wouldn't be doing this podcast if we didn't have sponsors. I'll be very, very honest with you about it. It takes a lot of effort to put this stuff together, and it takes a lot of effort to produce it. And if we didn't have the backing of companies like Crosstracks, who sponsor many episodes, or Scope Now, or PI Institute of Education, that basically sponsors every episode now. Like, you guys should go out and definitely take a look at their, whatever it is they're making available for you guys, because I wouldn't put myself behind products I don't believe in, and I use every single one of these guys to do my own work, and we definitely count on them. So as far as where the toolbox is going, like I said, we're branched out into international. You'll see me at some conferences live, and I'm always doing demos and things like that. But we're really trying to push the membership, and we're going to have an advisor board formed for this, and we're really going to push this and push the app to be on everyone's phone. I mean, it's cheap enough that every investigator that does field investigations or does computer research should have this tool on their phone to help you be more efficient, and just having the sense of community in what you do. So the cost is $200 a year, but there's a code. If you listen to the show, you'll hear the code. So usually it's anywhere between 20 and 50 bucks off, depending on which code you have. So it equates to about 49 cents a day, and on something that's a write-off for you anyways, because of the education that's attached to this. It's a dues and subscription write-off for you guys. So and to me, it's a no-brainer. And we kept the price at that level because I do want to see everybody join this. So you're going to see the membership really take off the next year or so. And the more people that are in it, the more people that participate and give their resources and put their links on there, you're going to see it grow and the information grow. I mean, it already has, but it's going to continue to grow and grow and grow. So The submitting a link is real easy. You just go to the more drop down bucket, click on submit a link, and just fill out the information on there with the URL, and you submit it. It gets vetted, and usually within a day or two, it'll end up on the site if it's appropriate, right? So the toolbox, the one drawback on it is not for students. So if you're in school and you don't have investigative experience, this is not the site for you. So it is open for investigative professionals. You got to have some sort of working experience in the field to be eligible to join. So that's pretty much it. If you've made it to the end here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give away a free membership. So the first person to go to the site and submit an application and write version 2.0 winner, version 2.0 winner. If you type that in the code, the first person to do that will receive a free membership for 1 year to Investigators Toolbox. Everybody else, if you want to take advantage of a 25% discount, which is $50, just write version 2.025 with the percentage hashtag. So if you write that on the application when you're filling it out, you will receive that discount as well. So that's it. I didn't want to run too long on this episode. I just wanted to give you guys a sneak peek. I'm very excited by it. This is my second business, but it's quickly becoming almost the first business for me. So I just want to thank everybody who has been listening to the podcast. I want to really thank everybody who's listened and actually become members of the Toolbox. I know, there are a lot of satisfied people that use it, and I really believe in this product, and I think it's something that's really cool. So I'm going to leave it at there. And again, thank you everybody for all the support, and consider checking this thing out. So we'll catch you guys next week. We're going to have a guest. We'll go back to regular programming next week. I did want to jump on and just show you a little behind the scenes of Toolbox, what it looks like, and hopefully if you're on the fence, this will be enough to push you over. So that's it. That's all I got. So thanks, guys, and I'll catch you guys on the next episode. Take care.
Thanks for checking out this episode, and don't forget to enter to win a free 1-year subscription. Just type version 2.0 winner when you submit an application. You can also type in version 2.0 25% to save $50 if you don't win. We want to thank Crosstrack, Scope Now, PI Institute of Education, and OREP for sponsoring this show. Please visit their sites and support them. And if you have a question or a comment about the show, email Matt at matthews@satellitepi.com. You can also find him on LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook. We want your feedback to bring you the best shows possible, and we'll be back next week with a new show. So make sure you tune in and stay safe out there.